Welcome to this edition of Get to Know Your Wayne State football program for the upcoming 2023 season. I'm Sports Information Director Jeff Weiss and joined today by Linebackers coach Glenn Davis. Glenn, thanks for taking some time to speak with us. Why don't you give some of the Wayne State fans a little bit of background where you played in college and some of your coaching experience, and we'll go on from there.
Okay. I played at the University of South Florida, the Bulls, down in Tampa, back in 1997. Played in the first school game in history. Got the first pick interception in school history.
Something nobody else could ever say that they were the first. You were the first.
Still got the ball somewhere, but I do have it. After college, got a chance to get a shot with the Jets. Free agent shot. Then I went over and played up in the CFL, with Winnipeg, and then I did a couple years in arena football. Then I kind of got into football. One of my old coaches that I played for asked me to come coach with him. In arena football, it was probably my first job ever. It was. So from that part, kind of just maturated into high school for a couple of years. One of my buddies was a head coach, and I ended up getting a job in the GA at my college that I played for in South Florida. 2 years with Skip Holtz, the head coach, and finally got a shot to coach at Youngstown State. My first, as they say, my own room type deal. I was there 3 years as a corners coach, and just been kind of moving around here. Around college football.
Sounds good. But when you got the call from Coach Wheatley, what made you want to come to Wayne State and be a part of the Warrior family?
I got a call from Tom first.
Okay.
And, saying they was thinking about this, thinking about that. And after I spoke to Coach Wheatley, it just sounded like a good fit. I had already worked with Tom before at Youngstown State for a couple of years, and I worked with him again years later at Savannah State for a few years. So it's something I was familiar with, something that I want to try to help build, in terms of what he brings to the table for as defensive coordinator and Tom, and what Coach Wheatley brings to the table as the head coach and the leader of this program and organization.
Sounds great. Well, obviously you got in here in time for spring ball. You inherited a decent group of returning guys. You got Matt Bushman, who led the country in fumble recoveries last year. You got Blake Gillum, Justin Hart, Darren Tips-Clemens. Those four, what did they show you during spring ball?
Got a good group of guys, as far as not really young guys that played, a few snaps, a lot of snaps in college football. Bushman probably playing, the most snaps, in his career since he's been here. And Blake kind of just transcended, in and out playing, a lot of snaps, not a lot of snaps. So they have some snaps on their belt, even with Clemens. He played last year, but he wasn't here in the spring. But he'll be, here in the fall. So we got some veteran guys in that group, along with Justin Hart, coming along.
Sounds good. I know we had two mid-year transfers come in. Shondell Hawkins, who's the younger brother of Chavez, who's been here for a few years, and then Carl Ware. What did those two show you during spring ball?
Well, let's start with Carl. Carl showed he could play. Carl showed he's a competitor. With the first group of guys that we talked about, he's in that realm, in that category. And then little brother Shondell, he got here. He's progressing. Maturing, and kind of like finding his way. But hopefully he'll be able to help us contribute to some healthy snaps for him and this program.
Sounds good. I know there's some other guys that have been in the program a little bit. Noah Foster, Michael Smith, Brody Dalton, Quincy Salter. Then recruit-wise, I know you weren't here for the recruiting period. You got here after that. But Stephen McCrary, Devon Dallas-Jackson, what do you expect from some of those guys who haven't played in college before, besides pushing the older guys for playing time?
I expect, the same thing every year out of freshmen. They don't know, until they know. So it's a good, 3 guys coming in. We see where they fit in with the rest of the guys. If they have that competitive nature and level to compete with them, then, we'll find a way to get them on the field. But, I really don't expect a lot out of them. I expect them to come in and compete. But as far as them, being a big emphasis this year, I'm not really sure until we get them out there on the grass or the turf and see where they match up with the other guys. But if they could play and they understand and have the mental discipline and the agility mentally, then we gotta find a way to get them out there on the turf.
Sounds good. See who will be on the bus the first trip to Slippery Rock.
I know I will. So that's between them guys. It'd be a good camp and a good competitive nature come August.
Sounds great. Well, thanks again for watching this edition of Get to Know Your Wayne State Football Program.